All right, so a couple days ago, I posted an Instagram story just asking you guys to basically ask me questions, whether it be about the music industry or just anything in general. So I'm gonna go through a bunch of them that I picked out and we're just gonna hop right into it. All right, so first up from J Love Music, we got, when did you start making beats? I started making beats in, I wanna say 2020. I originally had started because one of my friends in college used to make beats during our classes. And I just saw him one day doing it and I just asked him what it was and he explained it was FL Studio and that you can like make beats. I didn't really have like the grasp that like that's how music was made until I saw him like making beats and like using all the different layers of, you know, drums and like melodies and all this stuff. So he's really the person that got me into it. Too Cool the Creator asks, how did you start all of this? Tell me some experiences you had been through. So like I said, pretty much I saw him doing FL Studio and I figured I would download it. I think he actually let me use his login initially, so I was just kind of messing around with it on my own. And then I actually ended up ditching FL Studio and downloading Ableton for a solid like maybe like 3 months or so. I was using Ableton heavy and I actually originally started off making like EDM type of music. But I didn't really see that like going anywhere, and that genre is like incredibly hard to break into and to like master in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got my start in actually like making music. Prod Benny asks, do you condone producers that gatekeep or do you like giving sauce? In my personal opinion, I don't think it's the actual like materials that make up whether or not you're a good producer. I really think it's just up to the actual producer themselves to figure out how to use certain stuff in their own ways. So for me, I'll really give away as much sauce as I have because to me, I'm not really worried about somebody like cloning my style or, you know, cloning the stuff that I do because ultimately I'm my own person. I'm the only one of me. So, you know, so I'm going to innovate, you know, the way that I see things, and nobody else can really, you know, get inside of your head and do the things that you're going to do. So to me, it's not really about, you know, what materials you have. It's really just about how you use all of your stuff. So we actually got a couple good questions coming from Karma. And the first one is, what's your dream placement / big goals in music? I think one of my biggest ultimate goals that I don't know if I necessarily see happening in the future, but I've always wanted to work with Frank Dukes. He's by far one of my favorite sample makers, and I take so much inspiration from all the stuff that he's been able to accomplish in his career. Obviously, you know, I'd love to make a bunch of money and, you know, make hit records and all that stuff. But I think that just comes with a lot of time. Short-term goals, though, is definitely just get as much music released as possible, work with as many people as possible. I want to keep making sound kits. I want to keep, you know, doing YouTube, grow this channel pretty big. And as far as one of my like dream placements, I think my top two are probably Drake and Travis Scott. Drake just because it would be a massive song, obviously. And then Travis Scott just because I'm super in love with all of the production that goes behind his stuff. I'm a really big fan of all the like analog sounding stuff and the super like psychedelic melodies that he uses. So I think he's pretty high up there. All right, we got Karma again. He asks, we all run through hurdles in our career. What's a mindset in those times that helps you? I think really I just try to keep myself rooted as much as possible, and I don't like to think ahead too far. I like to just kind of stay in the moment and take certain tasks day by day, hour by hour, however they are. I really think that helps you kind of stay motivated and stop worrying about, you know, what could be in the future. I used to do this all the time where I would sit down and be like, okay, I need to make this blah, 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 all this stuff for this month. And, you know, I need to have a hit record by the end of this year. Otherwise, you know, my career is failing. But that's really not a good way to look at things. You got to look at stuff day by day and just, you know, did you do the best thing that you could have done that day? And if so, then nothing else really matters. Karma again asks, if you were to start producing again, what would you do different? I think one thing I would do different is start the whole content side of stuff much earlier than I did before. I really only started doing like the YouTube and stuff as of like the past year-ish. And I think if I were to have started doing YouTube right away, you know, doing tutorials right away, doing streams, doing TikToks, Instagram Reels, all that stuff, then I'd probably be much further ahead than what I am now. The content side of stuff is so important in building an actual brand for yourself. As important as the actual music is, it's also important to have a name attached to that music so it, you know, your legacy can live on longer. Bunny asks, Minecraft house tour. Yeah, so basically I got my farming shack here. Pretty cozy. I keep things like seeds and wheat. And I got my wheat field over here. And I've also been working on this this sort of cliffside. And the actual cool thing about this is Karma coming in again says, does your family know about your music career and how do they feel about it? Yeah, my whole family knows about all the stuff I do. And they're all super, super supportive. The only like advice that my parents have really ever given me was that I should always have some sort of job, you know, while I pursue this career as well. Just kind of as like a fail-safe, you know, you need money coming in every month to survive. And so kind of the piece of advice that she gave me was, until you're consistently making the same amount of money from music that you would be at your day job, that's when you can quit and start pursuing music full time. But until that point, I don't think it's a great idea to, you know, just drop everything. Some people do it and it works out, but I've seen a lot of people, you know, drop everything and they're, you know, it doesn't work out. And then at that point, you're kind of scrambling for something to do or, you know, whatever. But yeah, like I said, they're all super supportive and they see the goal. Chuck Beats asks, most common mistakes you see young producers make. I think one of the biggest mistakes that young producers make is they kind of brush off the importance of being professional in this industry. I think to a young person, this kind of industry and this career seems like something that you don't necessarily need to, you know, take that seriously in terms of the like super minute stuff about like, you know, proper emailing etiquette, proper organization. You know, I saw something on the Producer Spotlight Instagram page the other day of people complaining about like how people name their files when they send them over. And if like you send me a file and it has no BPM, no producer names on it, like the chances of me using that are so low. And I think people don't realize how important it is to actually, you know, be professional to a certain level in this field. And in my opinion, it really just helps gain respect from people who are already established in the industry. They look at you a little bit more professional and they're a little bit more willing to work with you. Noah says, do you send lab beats out from your Discord for placements? Yes, I do. I send majority of them out for placements. It really just all depends on if it's a good beat. If I listen to it and it sucks, then sorry, but I'm not going to send it out. Speaking of that, join my Discord. Bunch of opportunities in there, bunch of loops, bunch of talented producers. We also do bi-weekly beat contests, and you can win prizes and even money, so definitely worth joining. Chance asks, what's the best way to network? This one is, I feel like it's very subjective. There's a bunch of different ways. You know, you can go the IRL route where, you know, you are going to like shows and stuff and meeting people. You're going to studio sessions and whatnot and meeting people. There's also just the internet route where you can DM as many people as possible. That one doesn't usually work out too well just because people like to see who you are. You know, people can't really get a grasp of the type of person you may be from just like a DM. So people are a little bit more weary to work with, you know, random people that are in their DMs. But I always say this, my number one advice for networking is to just get your content out there, get your beats heard by people, post them on BeatStars, post them on YouTube, type beats, whatever. The more eyes that you get on you as a brand, the more people are gonna be trying to network you. Jinx asks, what's my favorite VST? I think at the moment is such a typical answer, but it's Analog Lab. I just think it's the most versatile for anything you want to do. You can make dark stuff, you can make ambient stuff, you can make melodic stuff. They just have everything, and especially if you download a lot of the banks from other producers, then you'll just never run out of sounds. Jinx asks again, do you prefer to work towards a goal with music or just get on FL and let ideas flow? I think typically I like to get on with some sort of direction, but I like to keep it pretty minimal. So for instance, I might get on and say like, okay, I want to make some ambient beats, but I don't necessarily know, what chord progressions I'm going to use, what VSTs I'm going to use. I might try new stuff. So I go in with an idea, yes, but it's ultimately super kind of broad and could lead to whatever. Sometimes I might sit down and say, I want to make a melodic loop and then end up making some like dark trap stuff. So it really just, wherever the ideas go, that's where I go. It's also different though if you're working towards like a specific goal. Like if I know I have to make beats for a certain artist, then yeah, I'll sit down and I'll make stuff like that. But a lot of the times it's just kind of making whatever. All right, Gio asks, how to pick good sounds and or drums for your beats. I think this just comes with time, being able to kind of train your ears to listen to what sounds are sonically pleasing and aren't going to be, harsh and whatnot. And then as far as like drums go, you really can't go wrong with the 3K drum kit by whatswrongchase. Guys, we just dropped a brand new drum kit. I've been talking about it for months. The 3K drum kit is finally out. We hit 3K on Instagram. I just want to say thank you guys for all the support recently. It truly means the world to me, and I'm so excited that I got to drop this kit. This kit is crazy. I think it's the best drum kit I've made by far. It's got a bunch of sounds in it. It's got like 300 some files. It's a lot. It's crazy. Trust me. I'll leave a link to the kit in the description below so you guys can go cop that. And as well as if you are a member of my Discord and you go to the announcements channel, there's a coupon code for 20% off. So if you're not in the Discord and you want the kit, definitely go join the Discord first before you buy it, and you'll get a little 20% off. All right, Trey asks, favorite hobbies when not producing? I would definitely say anything to do with the outdoors. I like to play golf. I like longboarding. I like going on walks. I live like on a river in the city, so take a lot of walks, hang out with my dog, hang out with my girlfriend, just typical stuff, Lox asks, any tools you use to stay organized / consistent? I'm actually really bad about like scheduling stuff, so like keeping track of things on like a calendar basis. I don't use any apps for that stuff. I probably should make like to-do lists and stuff, but the really only organization tool that I use is Dropbox as far as like keeping files organized and stuff. But that's about it. Jackson asks, what's your best mixing advice? I think my best advice would be just to worry more about leveling sounds versus, like worrying about all the EQs and whatever. Just level your sounds. If they're all hitting where they're supposed to be, the beat's fine. I see a lot of people try to like damn near master their beats before they send them out, and it's just not worth it. If you get that beat placed, the engineer is going to master that song. They're going to mix it anyways regardless. So just make sure the song's hitting when you send the beat, and that's about it. All right, that's probably going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me yap and answer some questions. Like I said before, a 3K drum kit just dropped. Go get that. Join the Discord if you want the coupon code, and just join anyway because it's cool. And yeah, I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.